Good day everyone. Our topic is all about solutions which can be found in chapter 13. The group members are Amoran Alaina, De La Cruz Generos, Escanio Ani, and Kakinuma Yuderami. The objectives are to know the importance and characteristics of solutions, to be able to identify what are the different classifications of a solutions, to know the different solvents in the preparations of a solutions, to elaborate the methods of preparing a solutions, to identify the importance of the stability of solution, to properly elaborate the dry mixtures for solutions and oral rehydration solution, to know the use of syrup and correctly identify its components, preservation, and preparation, to identify the different formulation of solutions, to know the methods of preparation of elixir and tincture, and to elaborate the advantages and disadvantages of the elixir and tincture. Good day everyone, I am Yuderami Sika Kinuma, and I will discuss all about the solution, its importance, classification, and up to the rate of solution. So first is what is solutions. In pharmaceutical terms, solutions are liquid preparations that contain one or more chemical substances dissolved in a suitable solvent or mixture of mutually miscible solvent. So solution, it is in the liquid preparation, classified either aqueous or non-aqueous solution. It also classified as oral. Oral solution, this is intended to drink immediately and preferably used for patients who do not like swallowing tablets. An otic solution, this is for outer ear infections in the formation of eardrops. An ophthalmic solution, this is for eye infections. And topical solution, this is a liquid preparation intended for body surfaces. And also solution is prepared to be sterile and biogen free and intended for parenteral administration, classified as injections. So those parenteral administrations like injections is also part of solution. Next is solutions can be formulated for different routes of administrations. So first is orally, like syrups, elixirs, and drops. And in mouth and throat, like mouthwashes, gargles, throat sprays. Mouthwashes like Listerine, so it helps to eliminate germs inside the mouth. And in body cavities like douches, enemas, eardrops, and nasal sprays. So douches, this is a method of device used to cleanse a private part of the body like vagina. And enemas, this is a type of injection fluid that is for lower bowel in the way of rectum. And eardrops is a type of otic solution for ear infections, and nasal spray for nose. And on body surfaces like collodions and lotions, collodions, this is for covering or coating the wounds, and lotion, this is for skin hydration. Advantages of solution. So these are the following advantages of a solutions. It is easier to swallow. It is more quickly effective than solid dosage forms. It is homogeneous, and it dilute irritant actions of some drugs. It cannot easily form any irritations or irritants in the body. On the other side, the disadvantages of solutions are it is bulky, it is heavy or large, and the liquid preparation must be secured, and unpleasant. It has unpleasant taste or odors that are difficult to mask, and needs an accurate spoon to measure the dose, or the liquid preparation needs to have a accurate measurement. And it is less stable than solid dosage form, because unlike solid dosage form, you can carry it and you can easily put it in your bag without any hassle, while this liquid dosage form, you really need to secure the container. Next is the classification of solutions according to vehicle. These are the aqueous solutions and the non-aqueous solutions. Aqueous solution, this a type certain substances with the presence of water. And non-aqueous solution, any substances that doesn't need the presence of water or does not contain any amount of water. Pharmaceutical solution, these are categories of aqueous, sweet and or viscid, and non-aqueous. In the first category, the aqueous solution, example like douches, enemas, gargles, mouthwashes, nasal washes, juices, sprays, otic solutions, and inhalations. So this product or substances or does contain any presence or amount of water. Second category, the sweet and or viscid. Example, the syrups, honeys, mucilages, and jellies. So this type of product enhances their flavoring agents and the quality of its taste. And the third category, the non-aqueous. Example, the elixirs, spirits, colloidions, glycerins, liniments, and oleovitamins. So this kind or type of product or substances does not contain any amount of water. Next, the oral solutions. So oral solutions, it is more convenient and easy to use. It is intended for those patients who does not really like to administer a solid form of dosage. So these oral solutions, their absorption is from the gastrointestinal tract into the systemic circulation and may be expected to occur more rapidly than from suspension or solid dosage forms of the same medicinal agent. And the solutes other than the medicinal agent are usually present in the administration of oral solutions. And these additional agents are frequently included to provide the color, flavor, sweetness, or stability. So the stabilization of these agents or the flavoring agents are included, especially when it is intended for the children. In formulating or compounding a pharmaceutical solution, the pharmacist must use information on the solubility and stability of each solute with regard to the solvent or solvent system. So regarding in the solvent system, and so in the formulation or in compounding of a certain pharmaceutical solution, it is important that the solubility and stability of each solute are in the steady state. And combinations of medicinal or pharmaceutical agents that will result in chemical and or physical interactions affecting the therapeutic quality or pharmaceutical stability of the product must be avoided. So the mixing of different pharmaceutical agents or combining them are not required or must be avoided because different drugs have different dosage form, and also to avoid harmful effects to the patients, to the health of patients. And for many medicinal agents, their solubility in the usual solvents are stated in the USPNF, or known as United States Pharmacopoeia National Formulary. So these are of the standards of drugs, the proper dosage form of drugs, and as well as it can be found in other reference books. And the solubilizing agent, or a different chemical salt form of the medicinal agent, alteration of the pH of a solution or substitution in part or in whole of the solvent, a pharmacist can, in certain instances, dissolve greater quantities of a solute than would otherwise be possible. So for example, the iodine in water or an aqueous solution of potassium iodide or sodium iodide as the solvent, much larger amount of iodine may be dissolved in the second solvent as a result of the formation of a water-soluble complex with the iodide salt. So this reaction is taken advantage of. For example, in iodine topical solution USP, prepared to contain about 2% iodine and the 2.4% of sodium iodide. So many of the organic medicinal agents are either weak acids or weak bases, and their solubility depends to a large measure on the pH of the solvent. So this drug react either with strong acid or strong bases to form water-soluble salt. So in the formation of the water-soluble salt, it is in the interaction of organic medicinal agents, that is either weak acid or weak bases, in connection with strong acid or strong bases. And the weak bases including many of the alkaloids like atropine, codeine, and morphine, and antihistamines, and local anesthetics like cocaine, procaine, and tetracaine, and other important drugs are not very water soluble, but they are soluble in dilute solutions of acid. And pharmaceutical manufacturers have prepared many acid salts of these organic bases to enable the preparation of aqueous solution. So these are the example. And the organic medicinals that are weak acid, including the barbituric drugs, example the phenobarbital, and the sulfonamides, example the sulfadiazine and sulfacetamide. So this is the example of weak acid organic medicinals. Next is a substitution in part or in whole of the solvent to enhance solubility. So this figure shows the milliliters of solvent to dissolve 1 grams of drug, which is the water component and the alcohol component of each drug. So this is in relation with the solubility or solubilizing agents of each drugs. And the rate of solution, that is the speed at which the substances dissolves, is depends on. So the rate of solution or the duration of the substances to be dissolved is depends on first the particle size of the substance, because the finer the product, the greater the surface area which comes in contact with the solvent, and the more rapid the dissolving process. So it is the sizes of the particles are really affected or affecting the surface area of the substances. And second is the extent of agitation. So the greater the agitation, the more unsaturated solvent passes over the drug and the faster the formation of the solution. So the presence of agitation is also had a great impact when it comes to the duration of the formation of a solution.
Solvents for liquid preparations. So when we say solvent, it is a substance that dissolves a solute, resulting a solution. So the selection of the proper solvent for a particular solute are solubility, clarity, low toxicity, viscosity, compatibility with other formulative ingredients, chemical inertness, palatability, odor, color, and economy. So, for the following agents, find use as a solvent in the preparation of solutions. So, these are purified water USPH2O, fixed oils, alcohol USP, diluted alcohol NF, rubbing alcohol, glycerin USP, and propylene glycol USP. So, for purified water USPH2O, it is obtained by distillation, ion exchange treatment, reverse osmosis, or other suitable process. It has a fewer solid impurities than ordinary drinking water. So when evaporated to dryness, it must not yield more than 0.001% of residue, 1 milligram of solids per 100 ml of water. So, ordinary drinking water from the tap is not acceptable for the manufacture of most aqueous pharmaceutical preparations or for the extemporaneous compounding of prescriptions. Is it because of the possible chemical incompatibilities between dissolved solids and the medicinal agents being added? So, fixed oils. A number of fixed oils such as corn oil, cottonseed oil, peanut oil, and sesame oil are usual solvents, particularly in the preparation of oleaginous injections. So, for alcohol USP, it is a certain drugs that are insoluble in water and must be dissolved in an alternative vehicle. So, alcohol is often preferred because of its miscibility with water and its ability to dissolve in many water-insoluble ingredients, including drug substances, flavorants, and antimicrobial preservatives. So, when we say miscibility, in water, it means that how completely two or more liquids dissolve in each other. Also, alcohol is frequently used with other solvents such as glycols and glycerin. To reduce the amount of alcohol required, it is also used in liquid products as an antimicrobial preservative alone or with parabens or benzoate sorbates. So, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration or FDA has proposed that insofar as possible, manufacturers of over-the-counter oral drug products restrict the use of alcohol and include appropriate warning in the labeling. So, for OTC oral products, the recommended alcohol content limit is product intended for children. So, for children under 6 years of age, the recommended alcohol content limit is 0.5%. So, for the children under 6 to 12 years of age, the recommended limit is 5%, and for the children over 12 years of age and adults, the recommended limit is 10%. And for the diluted alcohol NF, so it is prepared by mixing equal volumes of alcohol USP and purified water USP. So the final volume of such mixture is not the sum of the individual volumes of the two components because the liquids contract upon mixing, so the final volume is generally about 3% less than what would otherwise be expected. So the diluted alcohol is a useful hydroalcoholic solvent in various pharmaceutical process and preparations. So for rubbing alcohol, so it is employed as a rubefacient externally and as a soothing rub for bedridden patients, a germicide for instruments, a skin cleanser prior to injection, and a vehicle for topical preparations. Glycerin USP. So glycerin is a clear syrupy liquid with a sweet taste. So it is miscible with both water and alcohol. So as a solvent, it is comparable with alcohol, but because of its viscosity, solutes are slowly soluble in it unless it is rendered less viscous by heating. So glycerin has preservative qualities and is often used as a stabilizer and as an auxiliary solvent in conjunction with water or alcohol. So in overall, it is used in many internal preparations. So for propylene glycol USP, it is a viscous liquid miscible water and alcohol. So it is a useful solvent with a wide range of application and is frequently substituted for glycerin in modern pharmaceutical preparations. So for the preparation of solutions, so we have methods of preparation of solutions. So we have simple solution, solution by chemical reaction, and solution by extraction. So simple solution, it is a solutions of this type are prepared by dissolving the solute in a suitable solvent by stirring or heating. So the solvent may contain other ingredients which stabilize or solubilize the active ingredients. For example, solubility of iodine is 1 is to 2950 in water. However, it dissolves in presence of potassium iodide due to formation of more soluble polyiodide. So for solution by chemical reaction, these solutions are prepared by reacting two or more solutes with each other in a suitable solvent. So for example, calcium carbonate and lactic acid used to prepare calcium lactate mixture Y. So it is because calcium lactate used to treat calcium deficiencies. So for solution by extraction, so plant or animal products are prepared by suitable extraction process. Preparation of this type may be classified as solutions but more often are classified as extractives. So extractives will be discussed separately. So most pharmaceutical solutions are unsaturated with solute. So thus the amount of solute to be dissolved are usually well below the capacity of the volume of solvent employed. The strength of pharmaceutical preparation are usually expressed in terms of percent strength. Although for very dilute preparations, expressions of ratio may be used. So these expressions and examples are shown in the next slides. So we have the common methods of expressing the strengths of pharmaceutical preparations. So we have expression, abbreviated expression, and meaning and example. So for the expression, we have percent in volume, percent volume in volume, and percent weight in weight. So for abbreviated expression, we have percent weight in volume, and percent weight in weight. So for meaning and example, for percent weight in volume, we have grams of constituent in 100 ml of preparation. So for example, 1% weight in volume is equals to 1 gram constituent in 100 ml preparation. So for percent volume in volume, milliliters of constituent in 100 ml of preparation. So for example, 1% of volume in volume, 1 ml constituent and 100 ml preparation. So percent weight in weight, so we have grams of constituent and 100 grams of preparation. So for example, 1% weight in weight is equals to 1 grams constituent and 100 grams preparation. So the symbol percent is used without qualification as with weight in volume, volume in volume, or weight in weight. So it means percent weight in volume for solution or suspensions of solids in liquids. So for percent weight in volume for solutions of gases in liquids. So for percent volume in volume for the solutions of liquids and weight in weight for mixtures of solid and semi-solids. So some chemical agents in a given solvent require an extended time to dissolve. To fasten the solution, a pharmacist may employ several techniques such as applying heat, reducing the particle size of the solute, using a solubilizing agent, subjecting the ingredients to vigorous agitation. So many medicinal agents are destroyed at elevated temperatures, and the advantage of rapid solution may be completely offset by drug deterioration. So if volatile solutes are the dissolved, or if the solvent is volatile, as is alcohol, the heat would encourage the loss of these agents to the atmosphere and must therefore be avoided. Certain chemical agents, particularly calcium salts, undergo exothermic reaction as they dissolve and give off heat. So for such chemicals, the use of heat would actually discourage the formation of a solution. So a pharmacist may choose to decrease the particle size of the solute. So this may be accomplished by comminution, grinding a solid to a fine state of subdivision with using a mortar and pestle on a small scale, or industrial micronizer on a larger scale.
Stability of solutions. Stability is an ability of a pharmaceutical product to retain its clarity, color, odor, taste, and viscosity over its shelf life. So both physical and chemical stability of solutions in their containers is very important because drugs formulated as solution always have chemical and physical stability challenges. Kumbaga, they are prone to microbial contamination issues. So, kinakailangan itong i-prevent and the physical stability of solutions are needed to be optimized to prevent this kind of issues. Kasi it can affect the patient taking this. Kumbaga, magkakaroon siya ng negative effect sa katawan ng pasyente kapag hindi ito na-prevent. It says here that the pharmacist must be cautious to the formulation of chemical interactions between the various components of a solution na maaaring ma-alter yung preparation stability or potency. For example, yung esters of p-hydrobenzoic, hydroxybenzoic acid, and butylparabens. These two are used as preservatives in oral preparations and cosmetic formulations. Yung dalawang preservatives na ito ay may tendency na mahati into certain flavoring oils. So, this partitioning effect or yung epekto ng paghati na yun could actually reduce the effective concentration of the preservatives of a pharmaceutical product below sa level na kinakailangan for preservative action. Kaya importante yung stability ng isang pharmaceutical product kasi kapag hindi, yung pasyente rin yung maapektuhan. May nabasa ako na yung stability considered siya as prerequisite for the acceptance and approval of any pharmaceutical product. So basically, yung stability, ini-ensure niya yung maintenance of product quality, safety, and efficacy throughout sa shelf life ng isang product. Next is the dry mixtures for solutions. So there are medicinal agents na mayroong insufficient stability in aqueous solution para ma-meet yung extended shelf life periods gaya ng penicillin B. So pinoprovide sila into dry powder or granular form for reconstitution with a prescribed amount of purified water bago sila is dispensed sa mga patients. The dry powder mixture contains all the formulative components, include na dito yung drug, flavorant, colorant, buffers, and etc. except nga lang sa solvent. So once reconstituted na sila, magre-remain stable yung solution kapag na-store siya sa refrigerator for about 7 to 14 days. Depending yun sa preparation. This is a sufficient period for the patient to complete the regimen usually prescribed. Pero there are cases na kapag may naiwang medication or may mga remain, after ma-complete ng patient yung course of therapy niya, ina-advise yung patient na i-discard na lang yung remaining portion kasi it would be unfit for use at a later time. Mga examples dito ng dry powder mixtures intended for reconstitution to oral solutions, gaya ng penicillin B potassium for oral solution USP and cloxacillin sodium for oral solution USP. Yung dalawang ito, ginagamit siya as an anti-infective antibiotic. And yung last naman is yung potassium chloride for oral solution USP na ginagamit siya as potassium supplement. Dito naman tayo sa oral rehydration solutions. Rapid fluid loss associated with diarrhea can lead to dehydration and ultimately death in some patients. So, during diarrhea, yung small intestine nagsisecrete siya ng more than the normal amount of fluid and electrolytes. Kaya hindi na nakakayanan ng large intestine i-reabsorb ito. This fluid loss, which occurs mostly from the body's extracellular fluid compartment, can lead to progressive loss of blood volume culminating in hypovolemic shock, acidosis, hyperphagia, and vomiting. Kapag continuous siya ng pag-vomit and diarrhea can cause malnutrition as well. Yung hypovolemic shock pala, this is an alarming at the same time life-threatening condition kung saan sobra or severe na yung pagkawala ng blood mo sa katawan or yung mga fluids sa body mo kung saan hindi na nakakayanan ng heart mo mag-pump ng enough blood sa buong katawan mo. Kaya merong oral rehydration solutions kasi effective sila sa pag-treat ng mild volume depletion. So, available ito sa over-the-counter drug and mga mura lang ito. So, yung treatment na ito is para i-allow yung diarrhea to proceed pero hindi siya i-terminate ng mabilisan and dahan-dahang i-replace yung lost fluid and electrolytes para i-prevent yung dehydration. Moreover, a liter of typical oral rehydration solution contains 45 milliequivalent of sodium, 20 milliequivalent of potassium, 35 milliequivalent of chloride, 30 milliequivalent of citrate, and 25 grams of dextrose. Basically, this product, hindi dapat siya i-mix with other electrolyte containing liquids gaya ng milk and fruit juices. Otherwise, hindi mo makakalculate yung method kung gaano karaming electrolyte yung na-receive ng patient. So, yung commercially ready to use na oral rehydration solutions para ma-prevent yung dehydration or ma-achieve yung rehydration ay mga Pedialyte solution and Rehydralyte solution. So, yung product na ito, nagko-contain siya ng glucose or dextrose. Another one is the Infolite oral solution na nagko-contain naman ng electrolytes in a syrup of rice solids. And actually, yung mga rice-based formula na products is thought to be more effective in reducing stool output and shortening the duration of the diarrhea. Next is syrup. Syrups are concentrated aqueous preparations of sugar or sugar substitute with or without flavoring agents and medicinal substances. So yung syrup divided siya into two types, the non-medicated syrups and medicated syrups. Yung non-medicated syrups are also called as flavoring syrups. Yung purpose nito is to serve as a pleasant tasting vehicles for medicinal substances. Example nito is yung cherry syrup, orange syrup, and cacao syrup. So yung cherry syrup, ito yung tart fruit flavor, yung attractive sa most patients kasi masarap yung lasa. And yung cacao syrup naman is effective in administering bitter tasting drugs to children. Next is yung orange syrup naman is nagre-resemble siya sa orange juice taste and good vehicle for drugs stable in acidic medium. On the other hand, yung medicated syrups naman is ito yung nagko-contain ng ingredients giving them therapeutic value. Example is anti-tussib and antihistamines. Yung antihistamine, ito yung mga treatment of allergic reactions for preventions. Ganun. Ang anti-tussibs naman is for relief of cough. So, next tayo. Ma-explain na ito bago lang. Next ulit. Components of syrups. So, most syrups contain components in addition sa purified water and any medicinal agents na present. Gaya ng sugar, usually sucrose to. Ginagamit ito to provide sweetness and viscosity. I will elaborate this later. So, next one is the antimicrobial preservatives, flavorants, colorants, and meron ding mga commercially contained special solvents gaya ng solubilizing agents, thickeners, and stabilizers. So, for the sucrose, ito yung sugar na most frequently employed in syrups. So, the syrup is essentially the result of attaining the proper viscosity. And most syrups nagko-contain siya ng high proportion of sucrose, usually mga 60% to 80%. Not only because sa kanilang desirable sweetness and viscosity, but also because of their inherent stability in contrast to the unstable character of dilute sucrose solutions. So, yung aspect ng syrup na ito is best demonstrated by the simplest of all syrups, the syrup NF, also called the simple syrup. Actually, madali lang ito gawin. Kahit mag-prepare ka lang by dissolving 85 grams of sucrose sa isang enough purified water para makagawa ng 100 ml of syrup. Tapos, i-boil mo yun. Tapos, halu-haluin. Next is antimicrobial preservatives. Yung chemicals na ginagamit sa food in relatively small dose, napapatay nito yung mga undesirable microorganisms. At ginagamit din yung antimicrobial preservatives para ma-prevent yung decomposition ng pagkain by preventing the growth of bacteria and fungi. So next is the flavorant. So most syrups are flavored with synthetic flavorants, di ba? With natural occurring materials gaya ng volatile oils. Example nito is yung orange oil, vanillin at iba pa para ma-render yung syrup pleasant tasting. And dahil yung syrup aqueous preparation siya, kailangan yung flavorants water soluble. So, the last one is the colorant. Para ma-enhance yung appeal ng syrup, ini-employ yung coloring agent na nagko-correlate siya sa flavorant. Example nito is yung green with beet, brown with chocolate, ganon. So, basically, yung colorant, water-soluble siya gaya ng flavorant. Pero dapat hindi siya, kailangan non-reactive siya with the other syrup components. Explain ko naman sa inyo kanina yung simple syrup, 'di ba? And yung medicated syrup. Ulitin ko lang yung medicated syrup. Ito yung mga commercially prepared from the starting materials by combining each of the individual components of the syrup gaya ng sucrose, purified water, flavoring agents, coloring agents, therapeutic agents, at iba pang mga importante and desirable ingredients na kinakailangan. So, the next one is dito na tayo sa preserving of syrups. Syrups can be preserved by storing it at a low temperature. Yung dinadagdagan siya ng preservatives gaya ng glycerin, benzoic acid, sodium benzoate, methylparaben, or alcohol. So, may maintenance din siya ng high concentration of sucrose as a part of the formulation. High concentration siya ng sucrose kasi usually pinoprotektahan nito ang oral liquid dosage form sa pag-grow ng microorganisms. Pero may mga problemang pag-a-appear kapag yung pharmacist dinagdagan niya ng other ingredients yung syrup na magre-result sa pagbaba ng concentration ng sucrose. By that, it can cause a loss of preservative effectiveness sa sucrose. Pero yung solution nito is by calculating the quantity of preservative para idagdag sa formula para ma-maintain naman yung preservative effectiveness ng final product. So, the last one is the preparation of syrup. So, syrups is most prepared by one of 4 general methods. Nakadepende yun sa physical and chemical characteristic ng ingredients. Yung 4 na method na ito is first, yung solution of the ingredients with the aid of heat. Yung second is solution of the ingredients by agitation without the use of heat, or yung simple admixture of liquid components lang. And the third one is yung addition ng sucrose to a prepared medicated liquid or to a flavored liquid. And the fourth one is the percolation of either the source of the medicating substance or the sucrose. Pero minsan, yung syrup na prepare siya sa more than one of these methods mentioned kanina. So, yung selection, nakadepende yun sa preference ng pharmacist. Kaya walang official talaga na designated method of preparation ng syrup. Elaborate ko lang ng briefly yung 4 na method. So, di ba yung first is solution with the aid of heat. Ito yung piniprepare yung syrup as quickly as possible. Yung pag-prepare nito is gaya ng pag-prepare ng simple syrup. Yung sugar i-add lang sa purified water and heat is applied until the sugar is dissolved. So, the next method is yung solution by agitation without the aid of heat. Ito naman yung walang heat na kinakailangan. Yung minimix yung lahat ng ingredients sa isang vessel na mas malaki sa volume ng syrup, permitting thorough agitation of the mixture. So, yung process na to is time-consuming, pero the product has a maximum stability. So, fourth sa third one naman is yung addition of sucrose to a medicated liquid or flavored liquid. Example dito yung medicated liquids is tincture and fluid extracts. So, mag-add ka lang ng sucrose sa aqueous solution para mag-make ka ng syrup. The fourth one and the last one is yung percolation. So, sa percolation method, may dalawang possibility. Yung first, sucrose may be percolated para ma-prepare yung syrup. And the second one naman is yung the sucrose of the medicinal component may be percolated to form an extractive to which sucrose or syrup may be added. So, yung sa first one na binanggit ko, yung method na doon is yung sucrose bed is prepared tapos yung water or yung vehicle containing therapeutic agent is passed. So, sa second one naman is may dalawang procedure dito. Ito yung preparation of the extracting of the drug and yung preparation of the syrup. So, ang example nito is yung Epicac syrup. Piniprepare siya by adding glycerin and syrup to an extractive of powdered Epicac obtained by percolation.
So let us now discuss all about the elixirs. So elixirs are defined as a clear, sweetened, aromatic, hydroalcoholic liquids intended for oral use. So when we say hydroalcoholic liquids, these are solutions wherein the solvent is a mixture of either alcohol and water. So compared to syrups, elixirs are less sweet and less viscous or sticky. So which means that this may contain less or no sucrose at all. There are actually two types of elixirs. The first one is the non-medicated elixirs and the second one is the medicated elixirs, which we are going to discuss later one by one. Primarily, the main ingredients of elixirs are ethyl alcohol, water, glycerin, flavoring agents, and coloring agents. So propylene glycol is also used as a substitute for both glycerin and ethanol. Moreover, some sweeteners is also used for the elixirs. So elixirs are always sweetened but rarely contain sucrose. So as what I have said a while ago, it may contain less or no sucrose at all. So this is because sucrose makes the solution much more viscous or thick. So if maging viscous or thick ang solution, this is not an elixir anymore. This is not an undesirable property for an elixir. We will now discuss the two types of the elixirs, which are the non-medicated elixirs and the medicated elixirs. So the first one is the non-medicated elixirs. So non-medicated elixirs does not contain medicaments or medicinal agents. These only contain alcohol, sweetening agents, and coloring agents. These are also self-preserving, and this is all used as a flavoring vehicles or as a diluent only. On the other hand, medicated elixirs contain medicaments or medicinal agents. This is used as a therapeutic action and often comes with other excipients such as preservatives. So, an example pala of non-medicated elixirs are aromatic elixir USP and isoalcoholic elixir NF. Sa medicated elixirs naman, an example of this is the antihistamine elixirs. So these antihistamine elixirs are used in the symptomatic relief of the allergies for alopecia. These are the following, that is an example of the antihistamine elixir. So first one is the phenobarbital elixir and the other one is the theophylline elixir. So the phenobarbital elixir is a drug, specifically a non-selective central nervous system depressant that is used for people that have a difficulty in sleeping. The theophylline elixir, on the other hand, is used to prevent and to treat symptoms and blockage of airways due to the asthma or other lung diseases such as the emphysema and the bronchitis. So this is the formulation for some medicated elixirs, specifically the phenobarbital elixir, which is an antihistamine elixir. So it is composed of phenobarbital, orange oil, propylene glycol, alcohol, sorbitol solution, color, and purified water to make 1000 ml of this. So we are now going to discuss the method of preparation or the preparation of the elixirs. First and foremost, elixirs are often prepared by the simple dissolution with agitation, meaning it involves a dissolving of solute to the solvents. The second process would be the ingredients are being dissolved in their respective solvents. So meaning alcohol-soluble components are being dissolved in alcohol, meanwhile the water-soluble components are being dissolved in water. So both the alcohol and water are dissolved separately to maintain the optimum alcohol strength and to avoid separation of alcohol-soluble ingredients. Aqueous solution is added to the alcoholic solution. So minimal separation of alcohol-soluble components will occur. After that, mixture is made up to the volume by the specific solvent or the vehicle. At this stage, product may not be clear due to the separation of the flavoring agents or other components. Therefore, talc is being added in order to remove or to absorb the excess oils in the solution. After that, we will now filter the elixir to get the clear product. To end up the topic all about the elixirs, we all know that all of the drugs have their disadvantages and advantages. So as for the elixir, the advantages of this is it is a taste masker. Ibig sabihin, hindi natin alam or hindi natin malalasahan yung tunay na lasa ng gamot. Another advantage of this it is self-preservative. So for the disadvantages of this may cause addiction, especially if hindi natin na-control yung pag-take natin nito. This may also cause sedation or dizziness towards the kung sino man ang iinom. And lastly, large amount of alcohol na na-use or na-take will cause burning sensation to the tongue. We are now going to discuss all about the tinctures. So tinctures are medicines that are alcoholic or hydroalcoholic solution of non-volatile drug which is prepared from the vegetable and chemical origins. So commonly, tinctures contain about 15 to 80% of alcohol. They are mostly used as internally or topically. The variations of official tinctures depends on the following. First is the method of preparation. Second one is the strength of their active constituent or the active ingredient. The third one is for the alcohol content. And lastly, for the intended use in medicine or in pharmacy. When tinctures are prepared from chemical substances such as the iodine tincture and thimerosal tincture, these tinctures are prepared by simple solution of the chemical agent in the solvent. So, diba we have discussed a while ago all about the variations of official tinctures. So now we are going to discuss this one by one. So first is as to the method of preparation. Tinctures are prepared by simple solution or by extraction. So when we say simple solution, these are prepared from chemical substances. An example of this is the iodine, thimerosal. Iodine is the best example for the simple solution. It is used as an antiseptic, for it stops or inhibits the growth of microorganisms in the wound. The next method of preparation of tinctures is by the process of extraction, which is either by maceration or percolation, which we are going to discuss later. So an example of this is the compound cardamom tincture. We are now going to discuss the two types of preparations in the extraction method. So the first one is the maceration. Maceration comes from the Latin word macicare, meaning to soak. So an example of this is the compound benzoin tinctures and the sweet orange peel tinctures. So compound benzoin tinctures is a medicine applied to the skin before applying, such as adhesive bandages. So it is applied to the skin in order to protect the skin from allergy to the adhesive, and will make the tape adhere much more longer. So other than that, it is also used as an oral mucosal protectant, such as for the mga singaw. Another method for the extraction method is the percolation method. So this is a process wherein a liquid is slowly passing through a filter. So an example of this is the Belladonna tincture and the vanilla tincture. So we are now done to the methods of preparations for the tinctures. Now we are going to discuss the intended use in pharmacy and medicine of the tinctures. So tinctures is also divided, the same as true with the elixirs. It is divided by the medicated tinctures and the non-medicated tinctures. So for the medicated tinctures, this is divided again by two, the oral tinctures and the topical tinctures. So oral tincture, from its name, this is taken orally. So an example of this is the Parigorn tincture, which is also named or called as camphorated opium tincture, and its use is for the anti-peristalsis. So another example is the Belladonna tincture, which is used as anticholinergic. The last type for the medicated tinctures is the topical tinctures. So the topical tinctures are prepared by solution. However, this can cause a stinging sensation when it is applied to abraded or the broken skin. So we must be careful in applying this in our skin. An example of this are compound benzoin tincture, which is used as a topical protectant or to prevent or to treat any rashes or other minor skin irritations. Another example is the iodine tincture, which is used as a germicide or the substance which can cause to kill the germs. So lastly, an example of this another is the thimerosal, or yun nga, it is used as an antiseptic which can help to prevent the growth of microorganisms in the skin. We are now going to discuss naman the non-medicated tinctures. So these are the tinctures that is used as a flavoring agents, meaning they do not have a therapeutic action towards our body. As ano lang sila, flavoring agents. So an example of this is the vanilla tincture, sweet orange peel tincture, and the tolu balsam tincture. As for the alcohol content of the tinctures, it must contain the approximate range, which is about 15% to 80% of the alcohol. An example of these are the opium tincture, which is about 17 to 21%, compound benzoin tincture about 74% to 80%, iodine tincture, which is about 44% to 50%, and lastly, thimerosal tincture, which is about 50%. As to the strength of their active ingredient, we have three. It is classified into three. First one is the tincture potent drug. So its percent is about 10%, and an example of this is the belladonna tincture. The second one is the tinctures prepared from non-potent drugs. It is about 20% in strength, and its example is the tolu balsam tincture. Lastly is the tinctures prepared from undried fresh fruit peel. So its percent is about 50%, and an example of this is the sweet orange peel tincture. Lastly, the disadvantages of the tinctures is they have the unpleasant tasting. So they are becoming a thing of a past already. Parang hindi na siya ginagamit ngayon because of its bad taste. So imbes na oral tinctures, ginawa na lang most people use nowadays is the topical tinctures. So another disadvantages is that physician will prefer single drug instead of preparation from plants, kasi if mag-prepare ka pa from plants, parang mas mahihirapan ka since madaming process ang kailangan mong gawin. And lastly, tinctures have a high alcohol content, which can cause inflammation. That is the informations all about the tinctures. So now we are going to define or to identify the other solution preparations such as the douche, retention enemas, evacuation enemas, topical oral solutions, and nasal preparations. So douche this involves the use of a water or any medical solution to clean or to wash the inside part of our body. So the retention enemas on the other hand is the one we use in order to soak the stool para mapadali yung passage nito from our body. And the evacuation enemas is used to stimulate the stool evacuation. So for the topical oral solutions, as what we have know, this is taken orally. And the nasal preparations these are the products that is applied in our nose in order to treat any conditions of our nose. Next, we have the miscellaneous solutions. So, miscellaneous solutions are solutions or antibiotics which are only available in their class, meaning that they are unique in their action and not comparable to other antibiotics. So, this involves aromatic waters, spirits, colloids, honeys, and mucilages. So, aromatic waters are primarily used in perfuming and flavoring the formulation. For the spirits, it is used to prevent or to treat the fainting of the patient. Sa colloids naman, this is used in the cementing, the dressing or sealing of the wounds. And for the honeys, it is used as an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. And lastly, mucilages. This is used in medicines as it relieves irritations of mucous membranes by forming a protective film. So this has also beneficial effect on burns, wounds, ulcers, and external and internal inflammations.